zurück bei Disco Elysium und das ist jetzt schon ein paar Tage her, dass ich die letzte Folge aufgenommen habe, weshalb mir nicht mehr so ganz klar ist, was wir eigentlich gemacht haben. Ich glaube, ach doch, wir haben mit der Frau im Boot gesprochen und die meinte, entweder helft ihr mir dabei, das mit den Drogen zu klären oder sie finden ihren Dienstausweis.
Looking for something? I don't know what you're talking about. He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another lorryman's job. You should be thankful for the tip. Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything.
No. He means la puta madre.
A legendary, and not in a good way, crime boss from Jamrock. Controls what is probably the most powerful organized crime outfit. Looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him do this.
Yeah, him.
I presume you are familiar with his peonies.
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Dirty fucking peonies who'd do anything for him.
The lieutenant adopts a rodentine quality. Be cool, sire. He's getting into this.
You're not peonies. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were.
No, of course not. We are not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then
He's surprisingly good at this. Not bad at all. Look at him lurching.
it's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Padre Madre angry. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief.
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorrymen and Carters Guild.
You've seen the corpse in the yard. Yes? You took a peek. I know you did. Does it look like his friends protected him?
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod. I've softened him up as best I could. Now it's on you to finish the job.
Kims Bluff ist natürlich gut. +2. Du bringst ihn dazu, dir zu sagen, was er weiß. Komm, komm, komm.
Men like this only respect two things. Strength and fear.
Oh, es beginnt zu regnen.
Fuck you, I told you. I'm not gonna...
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
Ach ja, was machen wir? Ja, da der so menschen- und schwulenfeindlich ist, würde ich sagen, das hier ist vielleicht eher so ein Ding für ihn.
Look, fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green, banged up thing. I don't fucking...
When did she go away?
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now, leave me the
A small temple by the monument. Green. Let's get into that lorry.
Okay, jetzt, wenn mich nicht alles täuscht, dann ist das doch genau der, bei dem wir schon waren, oder? Ist das nicht die alte graue Dame? Das Monument ist doch hier, da kommen wir hier rüber. Na? So, die Herren, jetzt mal ein bisschen schneller hier. So. Ist das nicht der Grüne hier? Soll ich jetzt nochmal fragen?
No, man. You called me at an hour.
Nee, komisch. Ah, hier.
This green found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen.
This must be the one he told us about. Unless he was lying.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and 2 steering levers. The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
Let's get the pry bar from my kinema and smash in the window. I don't know how good it is, but this investigation has taken long enough. We can't afford it to take in.
Alles klar. Es ist eine Brechstange dabei. Komm, gib Gas, Junge. Sehr gut. Ich mach das.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gate. A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into play.
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools. Like
He's clearly a little protective of his tools. But what can you do? Work is work. The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, heavier than you'd think. Useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. It's robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Lets you see things in the handles are
Wir nehmen jetzt alles mit.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a
Weil ich kann mir vorstellen, dass man sowas später nochmal gebrauchen kann. Und warum dann nochmal dahin laufen, wenn ich es schon habe? Natürlich kann sein, dass ich den Inventarplatz irgendwie brauche, aber gut.
This green found, A to Z, contemporary, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
Werkzeug nicht angelegt? Warte mal, was soll das denn heißen? Nee, nee. Nee, nee.
The glass on the
Mal kurz so. Ach so, das muss ich tatsächlich... Jetzt haben wir es. Leute,
This green found, A to Z,
es ist immer noch nicht besser.
is parked, pry bar in hand. You take a hard swing at the window. A loud thunk rings out and the pry bar bounces back, leaving looks like the window might be shatterproof. You may have to rethink your approach.
Nochmal.
Futile thunk sounds in the brisk coastal air.
this has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
He smashes it into the window. Droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor and pavement. You can just reach in now. The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals. A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper. It's an issue of Périphérique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its page. It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s. One of them particularly catches your eye. A centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat. The actress is draped in a sheathed dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an... Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put your finger on whom exactly. This is Tijon, a starlet from the dawn of cinematography, less known for her talent than her tragic untimely. She wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here on Boogie Street. A mixture of cocaine and morphine. The actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard. You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have but one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle.
Wir erinnern uns, ein Fußabdruck bei der Leiche war eine ganz glatte Sohle.
Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Sandpaper? A novel technique? Yes?
Do the honors, he thinks. Connect it yourself.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching. We've identified one of the footprints, but there are still 7 to go.
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a pull-out toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least. Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without the dial key. For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation, with quite a range too.
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes, some dead actresses, and a rusty old toolbox under the... You close the rusty old...
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
Ach ja, ich spreche nochmal kurz mit ihm.
All right, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep. Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Look,
This means it's well-funded. Technology like that.
I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks. We didn't find anything conclusive linking them to the smuggling operation, but somehow I doubt that Evrard Claire would be oblivious to something like this happening right under his nose. My suggestion is we use it against the Union in any way we can, to our own ends. It's a slippery hill, but we just might be able to pin them down. As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
Don't be fooled. Desire always plays a role.
Yes, well,
Unimportant.
we should return to the murder case, see what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation. Sometime later, when we're done. The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome. All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either. Debrief over. After you.
Okay, sehr gut. Na, ach so, vielleicht sollte ich das mal wieder zurückstellen? Hier komme ich nicht rum, Leute. Hier geht's rum. Diese Atmosphäre in diesem Spiel. Ah, was will er denn?
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. Is she in trouble? Oh man, that's like a load off my mind. All that stress was messing up my rhymes.
He chooses to believe what's best for her.
Oh, you know. Tommy Leham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, but with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft.
Sprechgesang.
The correct grammar is Tommy Lahom.
Tommy Lam was taken. My real name's Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better.
Jerry Lafitte klingt doch mega cool. Ich würde sogar sagen Jerry Carey Lafitte. Aber gut, kaum an. Was soll's. Mich fragt ja keiner.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Oh.
Wait, there's something here, stored away in some dusty corner. It starts like,
Whoa. What else? Silent communion? That's good. Dang, that's some great shit. You came up with that yourself.
or did you learn it in school? More importantly, who can prove if you did? Go with it. You deserve some acclaim.
Fucking hey. Seems I got you all wrong. Cops aren't much known for their artistic. It's good to meet a fellow poet. Someone with an appreciation for real text. The others here, so you don't really get it. I get you. When they really click, it makes the world seem manageable. Good to be on the same page.
You found some common ground with this man. Even impressed him. The next time you look in the mirror, though, remember those words.
It's like, whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out. Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? Forget what exactly. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like, a strike negotiator type. They know what's up. Precise demands and so on. They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else? Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get onto the next one.
Alles klar, Leute. So, dann wollen wir mal schauen. Wie spät haben wir es? 14:31 Uhr. Ich kehre mal eben... Ach nee, weißt du was? Ich schaue mich hier noch ein bisschen um. War ich hier schon? Das entfernte Geschrei. Mhm. Was haben wir hier? Plastiktüte. Damit kann ich die Flaschen, die hier so rumliegen, aufheben. Was ist denn das da? Nö, gar nichts. Nichts weiter. Was haben wir hier? Eine Garbe von Einschusslöchern zieht sich über die Mauer. Was ist das denn da?
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty? Your money disappears into the coin slot. A clunk, the ring of metal. The curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. It's blurry, different blues and greens. In the middle of the lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible. A half-sunken sea fort. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the antique.
Really? I don't have the eyesight to make it out.
Das war es wert. Die Art und Weise, wie das geschrieben ist und wie der Sprecher das vorliest und das erzählt, ist wirklich super. Wartet mal, Leute, kann ich hier hoch? Okay, kann ich. Da geht's rüber zur Leiche und ich glaube auf die Rückseite des Zauns, wo dieser andere hässliche Junge da rumgeblökt hat.
You're back? Good. What can I help you with? Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? Yes. And
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm
of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder...
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all...
Since you are sharing that, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer. Every worker a member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric and not a serious demand, but the stridency of it seems to have absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the union into
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is they wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how...
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night. Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now. It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded...
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
Das ist nicht Disco.
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The débardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. As I said, a bloodbath. Too many things have already gone wrong. nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep that which is not from following suit. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation. Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or...
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors. Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands. Countries that don't have a good record reporting a troop. Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
The International Collaboration Police, ICP, is charged with coordinating law enforcement activities in complex...
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the...
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell. I have, and they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until...
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it. That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of... That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
Mhm.
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. Lely, his service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to...
What else? Nationality?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once. They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes, ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting. That's wise. Our goal is to avert catastrophe. Besides, you're likely to encounter them sooner or later. Until the executions start. Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. It's a matter of days, not weeks. I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask. Why, yes I am. The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is. My sloop?
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the...
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? I mean, we are on Le Caillou, are we not? We are, and the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou. I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich. You have the guns and the ammo. Take this class off.
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license?
I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but two insulindic regattas. Even finished once.
Actually, you don't. The Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license. It's a little known fact among us law officials. Unless it's their passport. No. Do you want to ask for the lady's passport?
Of course. Any more questions about the boat, sir? Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
Ja, ich will es mir mit der nicht versauen, ehrlich gesagt.
Think nothing of it, officer. What's a little class conflict good?
Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer?
Das ist mir hier noch nicht so ganz klar. Also das sind ja nochmal so extra Boni, die ich freischalte durch gewisse Gedankengänge, die ich habe und dann erfülle, wenn ich die richtigen Fragen stelle oder so. Und das gilt dann quasi auch als Fähigkeitspunkt, ja. Also, glaube ich. Und hier habe ich jetzt einen Fähigkeitspunkt. Jetzt erhöhen wir mal irgendwas, was ich noch gar nicht habe. Irgendwas, was vielleicht besonders schwach ist. Ausdauer. Stecke die Schläge ein. Lass nicht zu, dass die Welt dich umbringt. Wobei ich ganz gern auch einen Charakter hätte, der so mega stark in einer Sache ist. Ja, das machen wir. Ich glaube, das könnte noch wichtig werden. So. ist denn die Kamera plötzlich so nah? Ah, man kann tatsächlich ranzoomen und rauszoomen. Aber ich möchte jetzt einmal hier hin und schauen. Oh, die Leiche, ey, Leute. Mhm. Und da oben sitzt doch eine Person. Steht. Okay, scheinbar hat es hier schon Exekutionen gegeben. Da komme ich nicht hin. Die Musik ist auch aus. Na, was wollte ich denn gerade machen?
There must be another way into the building.
What? In das Gebäude. Wie kann ich denn anders in dieses Gebäude gehen? Die Tür geht nicht. Ach hier, der kleine Fatzke kann mir vielleicht helfen. So, Freundchen.
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slip my
Logic error. She is not sleeping right now.
Ach, es ist ein Mädchen.
pigs come to take me out? Trying to snuff me out? Don't get fucking clever with me, pig. You think you're so
Wie, das war's?
sneak up on me?
Mist. Ich hätte irgendwie gedacht, dass ich hier irgendwie mich nochmal mit der unterhalten kann. Oder von der Seite irgendwie was anderes sehe oder so. Ich schaue zwischendurch immer mal wieder, was hier so rumliegt. Was es hier so gibt.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front.
Wieso gibt es
There
denn
is a
diese
hollow
Option?
ring as you kick the box. It sounds like it's mostly empty. Your toe hurts now.
Heile dich. Wie? Oh, Scheiße, Leute.
You feel something in your chest, an unnatural pressure. It's spreading to your left arm, your jaw. Yeah, screaming isn't happening on account of extreme shortness of breath. All you feel is pain and weakness. You have to surrender now. We all do. It gets... Cop suffers final heart attack. A detective lieutenant of the RCM passed away yesterday. His death, though abrupt, did not come as a surprise to those who knew him. He was the heaviest drinker I'd ever met. Captain Ptolemy Price, the deceased superior officer, commented, "That ain't easy."
Leute. Das ist jetzt nicht euer Ernst. Ey, das war mir nicht mal bewusst, dass man so sterben kann und dann ist es vorbei. Scheiße, Leute. Jetzt muss ich das alles nochmal machen, ne?
Looking for something? I don't know what you're talking about.
Ey, das kann ich jetzt nicht machen, das dauert jetzt zu lange. Ich mach das mal eben so schnell und dann wird's halt leider die nächste Folge erst. Ey, wusste ich nicht. Aber ich find's super, aber ich wusste es nicht, deshalb. Man verzeiht mir. Aber vielen Dank für die Aufmerksamkeit. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao.